Hello, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Bits and Banter, where we are gathered to discuss the fifth day's play of cricket between India and New Zealand at the World Test Championship Final. I mean, the match is pretty intriguingly poised with Bharat. India at 64 for 2 with just 19 runs ahead of New Zealand. They have a, they have a hill to climb. They need to save this test. But the fifth day's play was pretty intriguing because after a long time we had a full days of play, and we got to see pretty much interesting kinds of bowling. India had variety with Ishant Sharma and I should say Mohd Shami first, then Ishant Sharma, Jasprit Bumrah, Ravichandran Ashwin, and Ravindra Jadeja. It was pretty interesting, and the way Kiwis approached their batting, it was also pretty interesting because you had Kane Williamson batting almost selflessly at one end, whereas somebody like Kylie, Jamieson, and Tim Southee went for their runs, which it was an interesting tactic. At the end of the day, they ended up at 249 with 32 runs ahead, which is pretty crucial in this match. So, how do you see this panning out, Bharat?
I mean, if you ask me about the what will happen today, my guess is it is not.
Okay. I think I got mixed up slightly ahead. We'll discuss about yesterday. We'll come to the what
yes,
will
happen. Coming back to yesterday's match, I would say Shami bowled a fantastic spell, and Ishant deserves all praise yesterday because the way he bowled the previous, before the rain curtailed day, he was, he was not getting his length properly. He was not that troubling batsmen, but yesterday he got his length right. He knew where he was bowling. He was stucking them at one end, so Shami was going booming on the other side. And maybe Bumrah did bend his back, but unfortunate that he couldn't get a wicket. But again, it was basically Ishant and Shami in right length troubling batsmen. And as far as batting concerned, you clearly said Williamson played a selfless.
No, I'll just hold you for a minute. See, the previous day, the day when we had the match, the Indian bowlers seemed to be not so effective. What really changed? Exactly. Especially for Mohd Shami and Ishant Sharma.
Both of them understood that they were bowling a little fuller. They thought they have to alter the length. Once they altered the length by few meters, everything was going good for them because the swing was at the right place. It was just cutting across the batsman. See, basically, it is about getting your length right because whatever pace you're going to bowl at England, it's not going to work out. Even if you clock 145, 140, you're not going to trouble batsman unless the ball is going to swing. And in these conditions yesterday, at the right length, you hit the ball. It was doing the rest. See, it was basically 50% surface and 50% the skill of the bowlers. That's how I saw yesterday's thing. And thankfully, maybe Bharat Arun would have had long discussion. They would have seen footages, videos, what they did wrong, where they went wrong. So once they altered the length, thing was going good for them. Bumrah again was a little short, unlike these two. That's why he couldn't get a wicket. But for Shami and Ishant, right length, right line, and they started to trouble batsmen and they started to respect them because they became very circumspect.
I'll have one question. See, was Ravichandran Ashwin slightly underbowled yesterday, especially when Shami and Ishant Sharma were kind of tiring? He immediately got his rewards. Immediately, the moment he came in, he got a wicket. So was it kind of underbowled? I'm just asking you retrospectively. I'm not saying this as a complaint.
Yeah, I know he's a champion bowler. He can bowl any surface. But a captain like Kohli, with conditions like that, and we had three seamers, obviously there was a urge to get more wicket, and he felt there was a purchase on the track. So even if I had been a Kohli standing in the slips, I would have been tempted to rotate my three seamers again and again and again and go for the wickets. I know Ashwin is a champion bowler, but still the conditions were so good that as a captain, I would want all three of my bowlers, because if Hardik Pandya had been there in the team, things would have been different yesterday because he would love to bowl in such conditions. Unfortunately, we didn't have an all-rounder bowler like a fourth seamer in his squad. So three, I have to play with three. And Bumrah, he was hoping that he was the go-to man for Kohli all this while, but unfortunately, with him not clicking, obviously Shami and
why I ask this question is in the previous two tests against New Zealand and in the last year in New Zealand and in this test, we have kind of allowed New Zealand tail to kind of wag. Yesterday, because their last 5 wickets scored 140, whereas our last 5 wickets added just 61. See, we have this problem of pricing out the tea. We have a historical problem, not just against New Zealand, but New Zealand came up with an interesting tactic because they allowed Tim Southee and Jamieson to go for the shots. See, somebody like Southee, he has a history of hitting sixes because if you know well, Tim Southee is among, I mean, in his 79 tests, he has hit 75 sixes, which is the highest strike rate for a batsman, not just for a lower order batsman, for any batsman. The only batsman, I was just reading it on cricket, for the only other batsman who comes even close to him is around who has, Tim Southee has six, can hit six of every 20, he hits, apparently hits six of every 27 balls he faces. The only person who is close to him is Trent Bolt, who has around, I mean, he hits sixes for every 40 balls. These are all amazing statistics. So these things kind of helped New Zealand, didn't they?
Yeah, of course. See, the point is, unlike India, what happened was, that day when Indian tail was wagging, you had Ravichandran Ashwin. He was quite uncharacteristic of because he was allowing those people, I mean, those tailenders to take the strike. He was not assuring them that don't worry, I am here. See, he was like more a mute spectator watching from the other end. But unlike yesterday, Kane Williamson gave them the assurance. I am here, I'm going to stay. He was blocking the ball and he was blocking it very clearly. And when there was a scoring opportunity, he started scoring. See, kind of bowled to his pads, he clipped you, he took two, he kind of went for boundaries when the tailenders were in. So that difference was there. That Williamson wicket made the difference. It gave them the assurance, the license to go whack the ball. Unlike India batting, and again, India has always had that problem, even against Australia or against England. You pick 7 wickets quickly or cheaply, then the tail is going to wag against you. They say like, oh, okay, we are going to stay here, and you have to toil hard for the wicket. And those conditions, Bumrah was the go-to bowler. Then who went and picked those wickets? But unfortunately, Kylie Jamieson or Southee both put together added 51 runs. At the end of the, 30 and 21, I believe. But at the end of the day, if you that was very crucial. 32 was the lead. See, now we are 64 for 2. Again, we end the day at 32. So had they been restricted for 40 or more, imagine we would be at 80, 85 runs lead, and morning we can alter the plans. You would have gone for a victory.
That's true. See, and Tim Southee, after having batted well, he kind of had the momentum in his bowling. So he was pretty impressive in his second outing. And how did you see India batting? Could they have done anything different? Both Rohit Sharma and Shubman Gill.
I would generally say, like, come the man, come the hour, come the man. Big match players, they know what to do, when to do, how to do in a big match condition. See, very frankly, the hallmark of Indian innings that day was Kohli, the way he batted. And typically, Williamson, how he held the innings together. And Southee is also an experienced person. He had been on such conditions. Once he gave that 30, the confidence was high on him. And, he bowled a different Southee. The first inning Southee was different from yesterday. So he was putting it at the right place and was threatening. The way he got Rohit Sharma out was phenomenal. He set him up. He bowled 2-3 outswingers, then came up with a sharp jab inside. And he had no answers. Absolutely, Rohit had no answers. So, Southee is such a man, he's going to continue from where he left last night. So he'll be, that will be an urge for him to excel today, because he knew his time is story. He's getting old, and to win a WTC Finals would be a greatest thing for him. And that which he.
True. See, we have had 225 overs so far, but still we are still looking at a possibility of we are still looking at a possibility of a test result. So final day, the conditions are going to be stacked in favor of the bowlers. What should India do? It's pretty obvious they should just hold on, play for a draw. But what do you think will actually happen?
There is only 2 possible results, if you ask me. One is New Zealand going for victory, and second is a draw. First 1 hour is going to be crucial, because one session we lost some 143 for 3 to 217 for 7, hardly 61 runs we added. So if that reoccurs, we are gone. So that will be in the minds of both Kohli and Pujara. So they'll respect the conditions. Don't go for victory or defeat in the mind. Take a session at a time, or take an hour at a time. Maybe hour at a time. Block, let the runs come. Take a cue from Williamson innings. I think India can stay there. And maybe if by lunch, if India is just for 30, 40 runs ahead with 3 wickets or 2 wickets down, maybe another wicket or another couple of wickets down, and bring in Pant, try then accelerate when reach a place where India will not lose the test match. From that passage of safety, try accelerate things, or else keep blocking, because it's a wonderful opportunity. Even if you draw the match, you're going to carry the maize back home. You will be declared joint winners. And this is not one-off test where you can experiment, try, go for victory. This is WTC finals, 2 years of hard work. Safe, play it safe. That's it.
On that note, that's pretty well put, because you are anyway going to be joint champions if there is a draw. So better go for it. That's a very sensible idea, and I guess that is the only way that is possible for India, because there is no other opportunity. Because the Indian victory is practically ruled out with the conditions as well as with the time we have. But anyway, it has been. We have had very limited cricket, but it has been a very, very gripping test match. It once again goes on to prove the intrinsic ability of test cricket to throw up so much of nuanced play and no nuanced approach. So test cricket is not going to die. People, the doomsdayers can still wait, because test cricket is still the thing. On that note, we'll end this session. Thanks once again, Bharat. We'll join tomorrow.
Sure, sir.
Looking
Thank
forward
you.
to it.
Good
Thank
day.
you. Bye. Good day.